Hey everyone, welcome back to the AI Kitchen. I'm Dave, and today we're supposed to make Savory Spice Surprise Cookies. Say that 10 times fast. Now, as always, I had AI design this recipe for us. That's kind of what we do on this channel. We have AI come up with cooler recipes that we can try. Watch me burn my fingers. How do you chop bacon? I don't really chop bacon very often. This knife, clearly steak knife, not the right tool for the job. We're gonna need some bacon for this recipe. Let me get a better knife. Now, in general, for me, I usually think bacon in sweets is like very gimmicky. I love bacon on its own, but generally like bacon donuts, things like that, I'm not usually really on board for. But my prompt for ChatGPT this time was like, yo, ChatGPT, make a cookie no one's making, a recipe that's not out there already, that we can cook and try and it'll be so good people will wonder why it wasn't already a thing. So that's the goal here. Half a cup of bacon, that's more bacon than maybe, yeah, I need a cup more bacon. Well, I did cook a little more, so let me cut the rest. All right, so we ended up with a half cup-ish of diced up, chopped up bacon. I didn't show you the cooking of the bacon, you've seen it before. So let's move on to the actual making of the cookies, you know, skip to the good part. And it starts off pretty easy, we just need some flour. This is some all-purpose flour. 1 cup of that. Doesn't seem like it'll be a lot of cookies. There's only a cup of flour, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So I did a 2/3 cup and a 1/3 cup because, you know, that's also 1 cup, right? You can always come watch my show and see some weird math when it comes to cooking. The math itself isn't weird. The way I cook is weird. We want to also add our baking soda and salt. This is all pretty standard for any cookie recipe so far. Again, me just doing weird things over here. You want a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm using an 1/8 teaspoon. Oh no, I just spilled a little. That's all right. It's not like baking is scientific or anything. I laugh because it kind of is, and it's important you do it right, but I still think I got about a 1/4 cup of salt. And now we need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, easy. Don't want to do a 1/4 cup of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Wait, is this soda or powder? This is soda, we're good. All that fancy work there is gonna help to make it rise. So just mix that all in, you want it all mixed together, and that is the beginning of these spiced specialty cookies, which could be amazing, guys. They could be amazing. 50-50 chance. I actually asked ChatGPT, because when I saw the recipe, I was like, I don't know. I said, are these actually gonna be good? And it was like, yes, they're really gonna be good, Dave, chill out. All right, so we got that. That's our dry ingredients. Set that aside. And then we're gonna wanna use a mixer, and we're gonna do our not dry ingredients. Look at that. The butters and the sugars. In a large bowl, use electric mixer to cream the butter, white sugar, brown sugar until fluffy. Butter, white sugar, brown sugar. So it says 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. That's a whole thing, right? Yeah, 1 stick, 1/2 cup. So we'll take our 1/2 cup of softened. It does say softened. Now, I had the wherewithal, the foresight to soften it at room temperature for the last 2 hours. I'm saying that with pride because generally I don't have that foresight, but I did this time and I'm proud of myself. If you haven't, you could just throw it in the microwave for like 15 seconds. All right, so now we want to add our brown sugar and our normal sugar. Brown sugar, we're gonna do 1/2 cup, packed. Now this is dark brown sugar. It says you can use either or. I'm gonna use dark because that's what I have open. So 1/4 cup, packed. Dark brown sugar. Did I say 1/4? It's supposed to be a 1/2 cup. So let me do that twice. I'm so good. 1/2 cup brown sugar, packed. I actually did find the 1/2 cup measure. I just screwed that up. And then as far as normal sugar, that's where it's a 1/4 cup of white sugar. All right, so a 1/4 cup of just standard white sugar. And then we're gonna wanna beat that together with a mixer, I believe. Okay, so I got my fancy pants mixer thingy. We're gonna push it up and give it a whirl. This is basically my butters and my 2 sugars. I'd say those are pretty well mixed, right? Can I go higher? That's as high as it goes. Good enough. Now we're gonna add in an egg without the shell. That's the goal, is without the shell. I'm nervous about it. No shell, no shell, no shell. Yeah, I think I did pretty good. Okay, so we're now gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Pure vanilla extract, maybe. Yes, pure. It's pure, guys. Now we're gonna combine that as well. It seems like the smallest recipe ever. All right, those are pretty well combined. Now we're gonna add this bowl of dry ingredients. Remember we had the flour and all that other stuff, the baking powder, baking soda. Keeping it a little bit slow so we don't make it all fly out. Now I'll speed it up a little. Get some of it off the bottom here. Seems kind of dry at the moment, but hopefully that gets fixed in a second here. Oops. All right, I would say that's pretty mixed. I mean, I don't think I'm really using the right mixer head thingy. I think I'm supposed to use that like whisk one. I don't know, you guys, maybe the whisk one's used for making whipped cream. I don't know. I don't know what the different attachments do. This one seemed to do the job. Okay, so this is what we've got here. It looks like a pretty standard cookie dough. Very small batch for some reason, but that's what it calls for. And I don't need a ton of cookies, so I'm not complaining. We now want to add our half a cup of diced up bacon bits, and then a half cup of dark chocolate chips. And spill some all over the counter. Half cup of dark chocolate chips. I want to just fold that in. The spatula is not really doing it for me, so I'm going to switch over to a wooden spoon. We're just folding all these in. Now there's another ingredient which I pulled out and put on the table, and you probably can see already. That is like a little bit of a conundrum because I have to like break them up. I need, I think, a half cup of pretzels crushed. So can I just crush them with my hands? How strong am I? Oh yeah, kinda. Maybe I'll get like a Ziploc bag and crush them in that. Ziploc bag method, you know, usually works kind of, sort of. Just throw a bunch of pretzels in the bag. We need a half a cup. That's probably pretty close. I'll add a few more. It's raining again. Gotta love the rain. We're just gonna crush up some pretzels because it calls for a half a cup of crushed pretzels. All right, my bag is losing its structural integrity here. Starting to leak through. Half a cup, am I close or am I there? Oh, I'm basically there, guys. Half a cup of crushed pretzels goes in the mix as well. And let's integrate those too. Certainly an interesting cookie. I was toying between this idea of like just a unique cookie or some sort of like copycat or elevated and improved crumble cookie. I might still do the crumble cookie idea in a future video, guys. So make sure you're subscribed if that sounds interesting. It's raining, guys. Every time it rains, I think of that song from Ernest Goes to Camp where he's like, gee, I'm glad it's raining. It's like right after everything's falling apart and the turtle bites his nose. Deep cut Ernest Goes to Camp references, guys. That's what I know you're looking for on this cooking channel. I watched that movie a lot when I was a kid, Ernest Goes to Camp. All the Ernest movies. R.I.P. What was his name? John Johnnon? I don't know. So there's a sneaky ingredient I'm a little nervous to add. It's chili flakes. Chili flakes? Is that the same as red pepper flakes? It says I can use red pepper flakes. It says a tablespoon, guys. I'm nervous. I don't like spice. I'm gonna use a half a tablespoon. I'm going off the reservation here, and I'm just gonna do a half of a tablespoon because I really don't want to ruin them. But if you like spice, do the whole tablespoon. Mix them all up here. I do like some like wild cookies, like kitchen sink cookies. If you've ever had those are good. All right, that's pretty well mixed in. So it says to take a baking sheet and line it with parchment paper. We have the required skill sets to make that happen. Boom, lined. Boom, roasted. That's another TV quote from The Office. Still don't really know what I'm doing with parchment paper. It always seems like, I don't know, it's too big. Can't I just use like spray oil? That's what I prefer to do, like Pam. But I try to obey ChatGPT as best I can. There we go, that's pretty close. Now we wanna just make cookies out of this, guys. Take like your spoon. Should I make a circle? Should I make them circles? Yeah, that's what we're doing. This is what the cookies are gonna look like. Are they too big? It says 2 inches apart. That doesn't feel 2 inches apart, does it? I know you're all like, Dave, they're too big, they're too close, you're doing this all wrong. I feel like you're right, guys. I feel like you're right. That seems really aggressively large. They all seem kind of large. Maybe I'll take a little bit off each one. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm only gonna make 9 on this cookie tray. This is like the world's smallest cookie tray. What in the world? Maybe it was a big recipe. What do I know? This is a lot of cookies. Let me go get another cookie sheet. If I mentioned I'm not very good at this whole parchment paper thing, I'm now layering the parchment paper. What do you guys think? We're not done yet. We'll be done by the end of the video, so you'll find out. I'm intrigued. It's a very easy recipe. If they come out good, you could definitely make them without any real struggle. Next time you have some leftover bacon, set it aside. I feel like they need salt, like sea salt or something. I wonder if that's part of this. I should look. I should look at the recipe. Yeah, I know. I started looking at it. I've been looking at it as we go. That's kind of how I do this. I don't pre-read it usually unless I'm feeling really scared. And I wasn't very scared about bacon cookies. All right, good, beautiful. All right, so they're just gonna go in the oven at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes, and then we're gonna try them and hopefully they're amazing. Let's do it. Okay, so they cooked for 10 minutes. They looked pretty done to me, so I took them out. I've let them rest for like 5, so they're not gonna scorch my face. Here's what they look like. Oh, hold on, there you go. Here's what they look like. They look like a delicious chocolate chip cookie, but they're gonna be spicy and bacony, so I'm gonna try them. I'm a little nervous, see how they are. Wow. Ooh, there's the spice. Wow. Those are really good. Those are delicious. These are excellent cookies. Like, ooh, and the spice. I like the spice. I could have done the full tablespoon of the red pepper flakes because I like that hit of spice. It's good the bacon isn't overpowering either. Let me try one from this tray and see, you know, how the consistency is. Also, I just want another cookie. I love the salty pretzels too. These are fantastic. These are like about as good of a cookie as I've ever had. So where does that put that on my point scale? Like in the 9s. I have literally no complaints about this cookie. It's amazing. Perfectly cooked. The flavor is good. It's got multiple like layers of flavor. I think if you are watching and you like cookies and, you know, like, okay, so a kitchen sink cookie, love that. This is gonna be for you. The spice is good. Maybe it's just the right amount of spice for me now that I taste more. Maybe I wouldn't do more than a half a tablespoon, but it's up to you on how much you like spice. Half tablespoon I think is pretty safe, which is what I did here. 9.3. I'm sure there's a better cookie, but I don't know. This is amazing. Try these. Really good cookie recipe from ChatGPT. I'll try to put it down below in the description so you can try it yourself. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for stopping by the AI Kitchen. We'll see you next time.